today we are working Psalm 14. In traditional psalm magic, we use Psalm 14 frequently for spiritual growth, for protection from all misfortune, to stop libel or slander, to soften stubborn people, and to renew faith that the universe is unfolding as it should. And I'm going to gear today's psalm to have any outcome in your life unfold in the highest way possible. The way we work psalm magic is simple, easy, and effective. We take the psalm in question and we speak it out loud all the way through once without stopping. We call this an incantation in psalm magic. After we've done that, we go back through the psalm and we consider each verse in turn, and we search for hidden, occult meanings that lie within the psalm. You don't have to worry about whether you think you're good at that or not. Just the act of doing it is building muscle that's necessary for whatever the magic is that you've brought to the psalm. These are spells. Each psalm is a magic spell. All you do is dig and search to the best of your ability for hidden seeds of magic, wisdom, understanding. Whatever your situation is that you've brought to the psalm, whatever you're casting your spell for, you apply those seeds of magic to that situation. And it's through this digging, searching, and application that you are planting those seeds of magic in the fertile grounds of your mind, where they take root, they grow, they blossom forth, and they bear fruit after their kind. And that's exactly what you and I are going to do together right now with Psalm number 14. The fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. The Lord looked down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any that did understand and seek God. They are all gone aside. They are altogether become filthy. There is none that doeth good, no, not one. Have all the workers of iniquity no knowledge, who eat up my people as they eat bread and call not upon the Lord? There were they in great fear, for God is in the generation of the righteous. Ye have shamed the counsel of the poor, because the Lord is his refuge. Oh, that the salvation of Israel were come out of Zion. When the Lord bringeth back the captivity of his people, Jacob shall rejoice, and Israel shall be glad. This is one of the few psalms in the book of Psalms that never invokes, never addresses the Lord. The psalmist here is speaking as your inner guide or your inner teacher, giving you instruction. These kinds of psalms, as rare as they are, have a very special sort of magic. We want to look behind the words and try to find what it is this teacher is trying to tell you about whatever the situation is that you've brought to the psalm. It doesn't matter what your situation is. There is a perfect resolution for that situation. And we're going to allow that to become apparent to us. The fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. Now the fool is the ego mind. And the ego mind is that part of ourselves that doesn't seek for the infinite, that doesn't think that there is anything outside of our own little closed system. And the reason why the ego is a fool is because the ego is based upon this thought that I'm alone and I alone must fix this problem. When we feel that we're separate from this source, and that we are all alone and that the responsibility is on our shoulders, that is the height of arrogance. This idea, I am separate and I have to do it myself, is the basis of all ego. And it's not that the ego is evil and needs to be destroyed. It's very important that we understand that. It's not that there's some destructive force within us that needs to be combated. It's just that there's this idea that's not true that has built up an entire world for us. So the world that is based upon the ego and all of our experiences that are based upon the ego are based upon a lie and therefore those experiences aren't real either. So it's not that the ego is evil, it's that the ego is nothing. We have to alert ourselves to the idea that rather than putting our faith in nothing, it is now time to wake up from being foolish and put our faith in the infinite that already has this issue handled, whatever it is. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. So these are the fools. These are the egos. We have to take this personally, or it's not going to help us in this situation. If we think, yeah, those people that are such fools that do that, aren't they awful? Aren't they abominable? That's not helpful to us right now, because it's not their problems that we're trying to solve. We're trying to solve our problem, whatever it is. And so we have to take this to heart, that those ideas of the ego are corrupt and abominable, and there is none that do good. There's nothing good about the ego because it's not real. When you have this understanding that everything that comes out of the idea of I am separate, I alone must handle my life, there is no help, there is no infinite, there is no higher power, anything that comes out of that is a lie. And it is abominable because it is the seed of all your problems. The Lord looked down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any that did understand and seek God. When it says that God looked down from heaven, that's an ancient understanding that heaven was in the sky. But in reality, we understand that heaven is inside of us. It is where we exist already as souls. It's where we're sleeping and having this dream that we're having this problem. The infinite is looking out to see, is anybody awake yet? Is anybody awake yet? When you understand that, you can ask the infinite to help you wake up to the truth, help you wake up to whatever is the solution to this problem, and allow it to be done for you. And so many times, especially in magic, people think that's blasphemous, that we would ask some higher power to do something for us because it's all about us. It's all about our power. And that's the type of sorcery that we want to give up. This idea that it's all my responsibility. It's all on my shoulders. If I created this issue for myself, then I have to fix it myself. Or if I've been victimized and I had nothing to do with this issue, it's up to me to defend myself. And all of that is under the heading of corrupt and abominable works, understanding that there's no reason for us to struggle with this problem. There's absolutely no reason to do that because the infinite has already solved it. Think about a math problem. 2 plus 2 already has the solution. It's 4. Now, if you don't understand the formula for how to get 2 plus 2 equals 4, it's not that you have to create the answer. You don't want to create your own answer and say, my truth is that 2 plus 2 equals 12. That's my truth. You don't want your truth. You want the truth with a capital T. The same is true for this. Whatever your problem is, whatever the outcome you desire, there is already a way for that to happen. And you delay by saying, no, I'll do it. I want to do it. I know what's best for me. They are all gone aside. They are all together become filthy. There is none that doeth good. No, not one. Nothing good comes from a lie. Let's just stay with the analogy of math. If you've come to believe that 2 plus 2 equals 12, nothing in your life is going to work out in regards to equations that involve 2 plus 2. And if you've done that for everything, according to this, all of your knowledge from the ego is filthy, meaning incorrect. There is none that doeth good, no, not one. There is not one correct answer in the ego. It's made it all up. Not one thing it's come up with is correct. So it's up to us to say, I give up the entire thought system and I ask for correction. I want to have you correct my math problem for me so that it's the right answer so that I get what I want. And it's literally as simple as the teacher coming up to the board and erasing your answer and putting the right answer up there and showing you how that works, showing you how the formula works. And that's exactly what the infinite wants to do for us in regards to whatever problem we've brought to this psalm, is to correct the answer and show us how it works. But until we are willing to give up our need to be right about 2 + 2 = 12, until we are willing to give up that, it's just a matter of the infinite waiting for us. So the way out of the problems is to start with the assumption that everything I've been taught in this world is wrong. Everything I know is wrong. And that is so liberating when we realize that. My ego mind has given me nothing but incorrect answers all my life. And other egos have conspired to give each other incorrect answers, and on it goes. And if it were up to us to find our way out of that, we would be doomed. But it's not up to us, because we're just sleeping in heaven, according to this. We're just asleep in heaven. The infinite's waiting for us to wake up. And in the meantime, what we do is within the dream, we say, I don't know what anything means. I don't know what anything means, but I want to be. So whatever this problem is, whatever you've brought to the psalm that you want that perfect outcome about, you have to first say, I don't know what this or anything else means. I don't understand the problem, therefore I can't find the solution, but I'm willing to learn. Have all the workers of iniquity no knowledge, who eat up my people as they eat bread and call not upon the Lord? The workers of iniquity, the ego mind, it has no knowledge. It doesn't know anything. It doesn't know jack. It's completely making it up. It's total insanity. Everything that we think we know about ourselves and the universe is nonsense, because we've listened to all of this stuff from the ego all of our whole lives. So no, they have no knowledge. Who eat up my people as they eat bread. In other words, the ego's consumed our attention. Think of eating as consuming. We are all consumed by the seemingly unsolvable problems that the ego presents us with, so that we can have a non-stop ride on a carousel that goes nowhere. Always with a carrot before our noses, chasing after something that either we can't get or won't make us happy. Have all the workers of iniquity no knowledge, who eat up my people as they eat bread and call not upon the Lord? If we called upon the infinite instead of our ego, none of this would be happening, but we think we should know everything. So our highest thought, according to this psalm, is looking at anything that we're dealing with and saying, I don't understand this. This is all based on 2 + 2 = 12, which I'm now understanding is incorrect. I want the infinite to erase that answer and put the right answer there instead. They were there in great fear, for God is in the generation of the righteous. So the ego does fear the infinite, and that is the seat of fear. And when we are experiencing fear, we know that we are listening to the voice of the ego, not to the voice of spirit. Because the voice of spirit is always the antidote to fear. If we're experiencing fear, we're listening to the wrong voice. We're listening to the voice that's trying to convince us something is real that isn't real. And we want instead to be clear, I don't understand this. The reason I'm afraid is because I don't understand it. But the infinite does. And I want the infinite to show me the truth instead of me making it up. A generation is any moment in time. And the generation of the righteous is the present moment, because that's where righteousness thrives. That's where righteousness lives, in the present moment. The ego does not live where the righteous lives. So the ego lives in the past and in the future. Ye have shamed the counsel of the poor, because the Lord is his refuge. Again, talking about that ego mind, that idea that I'm separate, I'm all by myself, and there is no God. Ye have shamed the counsel of the poor. Now, the counsel of the poor is the poor in spirit. That's the same thing as the meek. That's the same thing as the righteous. It's not that you should have a vow of poverty and that you can't have any money in order to be righteous. The poor means the humble, not thinking all by yourself, thinking in conjunction with the infinite, thinking with wisdom rather than with arrogance. Because the Lord is his refuge. It's so simple. when you realize it's just a matter of changing my orientation. I'm allowing the infinite to be my refuge. Whatever the problem is, it's got the solution. Wherever I'm unsafe, it's got my protection. Wherever I'm poor, it's got my prosperity. Wherever I'm sick, it's got my healing. Whatever it is, the Lord is ready with the answer. It already knows the answer to the equation. The ego doesn't know anything except for what it makes up. Oh, that the salvation of Israel were come out of Zion. When the Lord bringeth back the captivity of his people, Jacob shall rejoice, and Israel shall be glad. Such a powerful verse to sum all of this up. It's like snapping your fingers or twitching your nose, and now it's going to happen. Oh, that the salvation of Israel were come out of Zion. The salvation of Israel is the solving of your problem. You are Israel. You are Israel. That is your soul's name. When it says come out of Zion, that means that you go up that hill in your mind and you make connection with the infinite rather than chatting with your ego about the problem, conspiring with your ego, trying to fix it yourself. Oh, that the salvation of Israel were come out of Zion. That's the trick. That's twitching your nose right there. That's blinking your eyes, snapping your fingers. That's the puff of smoke. That's where all the fairy dust is. When you turn from the ego and you climb up in consciousness and sit in silence with the infinite takes care of it for you. And that's where the salvation comes from, meaning the solving of your problem or the manifestation of your goal, whatever it is that you brought to the psalm. When the Lord bringeth back the captivity of his people, Jacob shall rejoice and Israel shall be glad. You're being held captive by your ego. The good news about that is you're being held captive because you're allowing it. It's happening because you say yes. So you can change your mind and you can move from ego orientation to spirit orientation at any moment. And the trick is to stay there, to recognize those temptations of the ego thought system as what they are and say, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going to stay focused on the spirit. That's how the Lord bringeth back the captivity of his people, is through your attention on the infinite. The infinite can't force you into anything. But as soon as you turn to the infinite and ask that it be so, the infinite grants it. And that's what the infinite wants, is for you to be happy. Jacob shall rejoice and Israel shall be glad. Now, all the characters that are in any mythology, if they are to be powerful, are aspects of you. They are all you. In this regard, Jacob is you and Israel is you. In the story, Jacob was a beast of a person sometimes. Very self-serving, deceptive, conniving, selfish, covetous, just not a nice person. Completely beholden to his ego. That's the part of our own minds that cause us problems. We think we're doing something good by taking care of things all by ourselves and doing things all by ourselves. But the character in that Bible, Jacob, did that and was never happy. Was never ever happy. Then one day, he decided he needed a blessing from the infinite. And in his very violent way, started wrestling with the angel. But that was good because that was something that the infinite could use. So even though he was trying to bully God into giving him what he wanted, at least he was turning to God instead of himself. And so the infinite used that for his benefit. And that angel, some people in the angelic tradition say that angel was Samael, but it doesn't really matter. That angel wasn't going to get beaten up by Jacob, but used it to get Jacob's mind focused in the right way. And when Jacob's mind got focused in the right way, God said, since you are waking up, I'm going to rename you. You're no longer Jacob. You are now Israel. So this is a type of initiation in this story. And this is what you're going through. This particular problem that you want to find a solution for is a spiritual initiation. It seems to you like it's just a problem that needs to be solved. And like Jacob, the infinite will say, fine, we'll use that. We'll use it. Of course, we're going to solve this problem, but this is much bigger than what you think it is. Because you are moving out of, I can do it myself, and into, I want a blessing. Even if you do it by wrestling with the angel, they'll use that for your benefit because at least you're going to the right source for your help. And once that happens, you are renamed, which is what happens when you get an initiation very frequently. And well, not all traditions, but many magical traditions, when you are initiated, you have a magical name or motto that you adopt. In this case, it went from Jacob to Israel. It doesn't matter if you have an actual name change. That's all symbolic. It's that you're going from ego to soul, from Jacob to Israel, from ego to soul. And that's exactly what this whole psalm is helping you understand. Not only are you going to, yes, definitely get this issue handled, but as a result of getting this issue handled, you are being initiated and you are becoming soul identified instead of ego identified. So just keep coming back to this psalm every day until you get a sense that things are working out. It doesn't matter what you see in the physical world. What matters is how you feel. So you should get a sense of peace and certainty that things are working out. And once you get that, you know that your spell has been cast and you don't have to cast it anymore. You can just let go of the issue and move on to something else and know that the manifestation is on its way. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. Until next time, blessed be.